Missy from Shimmerz again, and today I wanted to show you how you could quickly and easily make a very bright and bold background on a piece of colored cardstock. And I just showed you a sample black and white picture that I would probably use for a layout like this. Now, this is just how I do it. This is just an idea, and if you love artsy, messy, mixed media backgrounds for your scrapbook layouts, then this is something that you might enjoy. Now, for this one, I'm going to use gesso, mainly because my cardstock is this bright, bold color, and if I start to layer in all those Shimmerz paints on top of this cardstock, they're going to change color because of the background. So the gesso is going to sort of give me some white space to work with. It's also going to allow all these colors and different kinds of paints and sprays to blend together a lot easier without just soaking through the paper. And it's going to toughen up the paper. So now it's dry and I've got some area to work with here. Now I'm just going to kind of mix and match. I chose colors that I thought would go with this coral color background. This is the Pasties Raspberry Sherbet, and it is a texture paste. I'm going to be using a palette knife for most of this. I know I use the packaging technique a lot. It's one of my favorites. But this, the palette knife is going to give you a totally different look, different effect. And I'm also going to show you what you can do if you add a color like I just did here and you think, oh, that doesn't really go. Don't throw it away. Let's just add to it and we're going to change it up. I added in the Hold the Mustard and it's kind of bold. So what I did is I picked a couple of different Inklings and Creamies that might match this background. So I just added a couple of drops of Inklings Naughty or Nice, and it's a really pretty peachy pink coral color. And I'm going to come in with some darker pinks. And I'm using Vibes Sweetheart and Coloring's Pink Stilettos, and I'm just kind of watering down the paste with these sprays and then just smudging it with the palette knife. And you can see it's going to give you a really cool effect. It's totally different than a brush, totally different than the packaging technique. Here's a little bit of a brush. I'm just brushing some of the color on, but I'm going to come back in with the palette knife and smudge it down. And you know, you don't have to use this much gesso. It's up to you. But I'm going to give this a zap with the heat gun so I can come in and continue to layer. And now that that's dry, I can build on top of those layers. And again, the gesso is going to allow me to do a bunch of layering and add a bunch of liquids, and it's not going to destroy the paper. So now I'm going to add in another pasties that's called Peach Fuzz, and that's more of the color of the cardstock. And I'm just mixing and matching, really. I want some darker pinks mixed in with some lighter peaches, and it's just a preference of, you know, what color scheme you want and how much of this color you want where. And I love how that looks. This is going to look totally different once you add your photo and you add some papers and some embellishments and things. It's going to totally look different. This is just for the background. Now what I wanted to do is show you what might happen if you decide to go really bold and add in some blues or greens. And this may be a point in the layout where you're like, oh, I just totally messed this up. I sprayed some of the Jenny B Blue Vibes, which is probably my all-time favorite Shimmerz blue. And I made sure everything was dry, or almost dry, before I did this. Now here's where I almost think, oh, this is ruined. I added in Coloring's Well Blue Me Down, which is more of a bluish aqua. But I think I wind up saving it. It's kind of looking muddy and dark, and I thought this is not good. So before anything dries, I'm going to dab up a lot of it with a napkin, and it instantly looks better. So I'm going to keep smudging and just keep playing with it, and I'm just going to keep layering things on. I scraped some of the paste off, and so it left me with a little bit of more of a white space. And so I'm just going to continue to work with the blue, and I think this looks really pretty. I love the rich colors, and I love how it looks against that coral background. And you could just keep working with this to make it exactly how you want it. And if it turns out to where you don't like it, just punch some shapes out of it and use the circles or squares or whatever shape punch you use as embellishments. There's lots of ways around this, but I think this would look really great with a black and white background. So here's the close-up shots. It's very bold, it's very dramatic, but if you like these kind of colors and you like this kind of background, then this is something that you could try. You know, if you're like me and you're stuck with the packaging technique all the time, try the palette knife. It's a totally different look, and it's just fun to play around and experiment to see what you may or may not like. But I hope you guys enjoyed this and give it a try, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.